Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you some coverage of the final spoiler article for Legacy Lost. We have pre-release coming this weekend. I, for one, am super excited about it. But yeah, today is the last set of cards, mostly green-blue, and one white card thrown in there. And we are meeting Grubalesta. Grubalesta is back. He has been released from his Magic Stone. And so we get to see him and his kind of support as he works with Lilia's Petal. So Grubalesta is a 3-drop 6/6, 1 green, 1 black, 1 colorless. He says Magic Stones you control gain barrier, so nothing can ever touch your Magic Stones, which is pretty interesting. And he gains plus 100 for every Magic Stone you control with a different name. So if your Magic Stones are pretty diverse, then he gets stronger. But if they're all the same, then he doesn't really do much. When he enters your field, you can banish any number of Magic Stones, put the top X cards of your Magic Stone deck into your field rested, where X is the number of Magic Stones banished this way. So this is pretty interesting. I wish they weren't rested. I understand why they do come in rested, because if they didn't, then this guy would essentially be free. You just tap 3 to play him, sack those 3 stones, get 3 stones in recovered, and then, you know, it's a free card essentially at that point. But I also see this as helping you manipulate your stone base a little bit. You know, you're paying it, you sack off stones that are like duplicate stones, and you hopefully grab stones that are different, because he gains swiftness and precision as long as you control 5 or more Magic Stones with different names. So if you hit this right, he can be a 3-drop 11/11 with swiftness and precision. That's pretty devastating. You know, so if you're sacking off stones and you manage to hit, you know, say you've already got 4 that are different but 1 that's the same, you sack off the 1 that's the same, hit a 5th different one, suddenly you've just created a bombshell on the field. And so that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty unique, you know, kind of mechanism to use. I'm not sure exactly how strong I think this will be in New Frontiers, but I could definitely see Grubalesta being pretty important in your pre-releases. So if you pack one, you're probably in good shape. Next up, we have Grubalesta's Secret Technique. It is a 2-drop quick cast, 1 green, 1 black. Target Magic Stone becomes a 1000/1000 resonator with swiftness until the end of the turn. It's still a Magic Stone. I love this card so much. I think this card is super sick, being able to turn Magic Stones into creatures. There's always a risk, though, because, you know, Magic Stones, since they're creatures, could then be destroyed and you lose a stone. But, again, with the beauty that is Force of Will's recovery step, you can, in your recovery, tap 2 to target one. You cast this spell to target one of your stones that you just spent this card on. Spent for this card, and it'll become a resonator, and then it'll recover, and then you essentially paid 1 to put a 10/10 resonator with swiftness onto the field for the turn. Pretty cool. I really like that card a lot. I think this is going to be an interesting card at 2 in pre-releases, and I definitely think it has some potential. You could even use it to animate one of your opponent's stones. That's pretty important, and then kill it, because it'll be a resonator, so it's objective removal. Just something to keep in mind. So lots of different options with this card for sure. Next up, we have Curse of the Kyuubi, 1 green, 1 black, and X. It is a quick cast. This has a pretty interesting effect. So it has cancel target non-resonator spell unless its controller pays X. So you can't cancel creatures, that's important to recognize, unless its controller pays X. If this spell was canceled this way, search its controller's deck, graveyard, and hand for all cards with that name and remove them from the game, then that player shuffles their deck. So, if anyone remembers back in the day, there was a card called Stories Told in 1001 Nights. This is the similar kind of effect, and it can work for anybody, as long as you get to cancel that spell. That's impressive, you know, especially if you're considering like control mirrors. Like, you play a card, they go to cancel it with Seal of Wind and Light, but they tap out to do it. You cancel their Seal of Wind and Light with this card, suddenly all the copies of Seal of Wind and Light are just gone. In a control mirror, that's pretty important. And the fact that you can kind of modulate it, so if they have, you know, only 3 left, you could, if you really need to cancel that spell, cost this card for 6. You guarantee that it cancels, or you cast it for 5 and you make them tap out to pay their spell for 3 more. modulating your opponent's spell effects that much can be very useful, and then if they choose not to, you just get a free cancel, or you get to, you know, get rid of at least one other card usually. So definitely be on the lookout for this card in competitive play, especially in side decks for control mirrors. Next up, we have Lumias Purification. Pretty interesting here. It is a 3-drop remnant card with remnant, and it's just chance speed, so it's not an instant, but it's 2 white and 1. Destroy target rested non-magic stone card. So this can just outright kill a J ruler if it's tapped. This can kill a rested addition. This can kill anything other than a magic stone. You can use this on a ruler. It won't do anything. Keep that in mind. But if they, you know, swing in with their J ruler, then next turn you can just cast this and then kill it. Especially since this card has Remnant, I think that's fantastic. You know, you could discard it early on. It gets buried. Your opponent doesn't consider it. They go into swing, you block, and then kill their J ruler next turn. Definitely like this card a lot. I think this card is going to be used very heavily in pre-releases too. Last card for the day is the Wetlands of Magical Origin. It is a 2-drop addition, 1 green, 1 colorless, or 1 green, 1 black, sorry, and it just says tap, recover target magic stone. This is pretty impressive. It is essentially a 1-drop because you can, play it for 2 and then tap it to untap one of the things you use to play it. And I definitely think that if this card sticks around, your opponent is pretty in trouble because you can just float mana for days, will for days. You can manipulate your mana a lot, manipulate your stones a lot. You could leave it recovered, and then when your opponent tries to do something, you could then activate this to bring up your stones to then mess them up, so they're not really considering the fact that you can untap your stones. Lots of options, lots of really cool effects, and if you consider the fact that you can animate a stone to kill something, and then untap that magic stone because it's still treated as a magic stone, and then swing it again. So suddenly 2,000 damage coming at their face from a stone. Definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with this card as we move on. But let me know what you guys think about these last cards. Are you hyped for your pre-release? Where are you guys going for your pre-releases? I know I'm going to BC Comics as always. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.